I'm Umar Khalid from grade 11A, and today we're here with Miss Stephanie. Miss Stephanie, I wish to ask you a few questions about your thoughts on the Student Council Investor Ceremony. So, what are your thoughts on the significance of the event?
Hi, Omar. First of all, thank you so much for having me in your interviews, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay? So, your first question, remind me, was?
What are your thoughts on the significance of the Student Council Investor Ceremony?
Okay, well, this morning I attended the 2025-26 investiture ceremony, and I had a lovely conversation with Ms. Lama and Ms. Jihan, Mr. Reginald as well, on how well our students are ready to take on challenges. They are poised, they're well groomed in their uniforms, and I loved getting to know each one of them from a short little phrase about what they like to do. And I thought that was very personal and it gives us as audience an insight into what they like outside of school and academic life.
That's a great perspective. So, how can an event like this help in creating a culture of student leadership and accountability?
Well, for me, as a young leader, I would say that leadership starts young. And when you are given such a brilliant opportunity from youth and you decide to take that on from elementary school onwards, it really opens your horizons to hearing challenges from your fellow student body. And then the even harder part, which is acting on it, because sometimes you can hear it and then you're not sure what to do. And as a leader, I have to say I still face issues like that, and I would say starting young in leadership helps you be able to, whether it's developing a thick skin sometimes or developing the ability to respond. Sometimes you need to think, absorb, think before you respond, and you don't have to come up with a quick solution instantly. Sometimes thinking and then saying, let me reflect and come back to you, is better than giving a quick fix answer that may not be in line with your personal values, be in line with school values, or you're not actually able to do that thing because it's beyond your ability for whatever reason. Starting young helps.
So, if I understand what you're saying, it's sort of like taking a moment to step back and cool off and then think again on how to respond. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Sometimes we have the natural instinct. I'll talk from my perspective where I lead with heart. So when I lead with heart, I have to make sure that I'm also doing what's best for the business, which is best for the student community, best for the parent community. But if I hear something and I think, oh, let me quickly react to that because I want to extinguish that situation because, it requires that sort of a solution, I have to also think about multiple stakeholders. I'm not only doing it for myself. I'm making a decision that's going to benefit the whole school community. So if I don't take that minute to reflect, I might take a wrong decision. I'm human. I may take the wrong decision, and I don't want to do that, which massively impacts the whole community when only one student or a couple of people were affected by that particular problem, let's say.
That's wise. And from your perspective on the board, how does the student council contribute to the school's overall governance and success?
Well, our school community has several layers, right? We've got a huge hierarchy. A few names I can mention are, you've got the school board right at the top, and then you've got the middle management, which is our wonderful principals and vice principals. Then you've got supervisors, heads of years, teachers, and then you've got students. Students have a huge role to play in actioning things out. You have the ability to collect information react or respond to information with, of course, support from your leaders, which are your teachers and your principals. And they, of course, are guided by, our direction right from the board. So you as students are integral to that process. Without you, we wouldn't be able to collect that information. We wouldn't know what's happening, what's the pulse of our school. At every phase or stage of the school year, or as you would have grown from kindergarten to high school, you would have felt or experienced different things. Now, if I don't know at every stage what's happening of your school life, you and your fellow students in the student body, I would not be able to give you the best experience. I work to give our students the best experience. And if I don't have my eyes and ears on the ground, which is in you students, then I cannot fulfill that promise to you. So you are important. You're very important to that process.
That's nice to hear. And why would you say that it's important for the school board to be present and support an event focused on the student leaders?
That's a great question. If we were not aware of what's happening, if we didn't know our students' strengths, weaknesses, challenges they face, extra support that they needed, whether it's in class, whether it's co-curricular, whether it's something personal that they're struggling with. I know that each of us have people that we can count on within the school community, whether it's their own parent or whether it's one of our teachers. If we were not coming to events, or if we were not seeing what's happening on the academic front, then we wouldn't know the potential that our students have. And that's where I think it's important for us to witness that firsthand. And then I am able to generate more ideas on what do I do next with them? Where do I channel student energy, the effort, their innovative, creative thinking? Where do I channel that for positive good for our students? And so by attending this, I feel extremely proud that our students are highly capable, want to do good, and like Mr. Reginald was saying in his speech, wanting to do good even when others are not watching. That's profound, because sometimes we think, well, if someone's not watching, then I can just do what I like. But that's not true. Someone somewhere is always watching, especially as you grow up in leadership. And even when they're not, you want that moral compass in you to guide you. That's where our religion, our culture comes into play, and we're taught that, even in school.
That's strong.
It is?
Yeah. So, questions about the student impact and vision on the school.
Okay.
What is one thing that you hope the new student council will achieve that has not been done before?
So for me, I never really impose my own ideas in terms of activities that I think students should do. I normally allow them the flexibility of thinking. Let them come to me with ideas, and then I'll say, well, if you came up with it, great idea. Why don't you see how you can make that possible for the rest of the community? I'm sure if you thought of it, there are other students that would like to join you in this endeavor and make this initiative even stronger. So there's not one particular activity that I'd like to see, but on the whole, I would like to see any initiative that is thought by a particular student on the council, for them to be able to see it through. From start, where the planning begins, to identifying their resources in people or things that they need to action that, and then finally having that initiative executed. So that would make me truly happy.
So you think that the student council should bring more of their own ideas to the school?
Bring more of their own ideas, as well as if there is an existing idea or event in the system or on the school calendar, what twist could students add to it? There's always something new or refreshing that you can do with something that's existing. And why do I say that? It's easier to see that through. For example, let's take an event, any event that would require students to take part or help in, like a bake sale. A bake sale is a long existing idea, and done over several years. What's something new that a student, what is a new idea that a student could have his take included in that? Maybe it's the way that payments are collected. I don't know. Maybe they say they want to do it through Apple Pay or something new. Maybe there's a new recipe. Maybe they say instead of having one class doing it, let's invite other schools to do it. I don't know. Something that's from them, that's their idea, adding on to an existing idea. I think that what interests the student is what will make that particular event refreshing or new.
And plus, that would probably benefit the students as well to help their own creative thoughts, right?
Exactly. And that's, when do you feel like you can add value to an initiative? When it's your own.
When it's your own idea.
When it's your own idea. When you thought of it. When you're able to see it from start to end.
Right.
You feel great.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether it's thought of before or somebody in America's done it and now we want to do it here in Kuwait. It doesn't matter. The point is that you're doing it.
That's right. So, what role do you believe student voices should play in major decisions that affect the school? So, do you think they should be taken as a highly important role or something less prioritized?
Let's put it this way. I think that if it's a pressing need for the school, the board is willing to hear it. Let's say it's something that would be impactful, really impactful for student community or the school community, then why not we hear what students have to say? For example, in one of our other schools, we are starting a business project, which is based off of obviously our commerce curriculum. And we give a practical project to students where they create a business plan, they monetize that business plan, and then they create profit for themselves and for the school. So what stops other students from joining that? Nothing. If we believe that students can do it from the grassroots level, then we should listen to those ideas and make sure that a practical initiative is fruitful for them. So if whether it's discipline, whether it's another topic or subject matter that you'd like to take up in the school, you or the student council, then of course they should be entertained, they should be allowed to say their opinion on it.
Right. So they shouldn't be less prioritized as a voice.
No, not particularly. And that's where I think you have great conversations with your principals, you have great conversations with your counselors, and don't think that that information doesn't reach the board. It does. We understand and we hear what students have to say because they come and report to us, and we are very much dialed in as a board to understand what's happening on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis on student health, student academics, student well-being. We hear what happens, and that's how we're able to respond as quickly as we are.
Well, that's very nice to know. As a student myself, that's nice to know. That's nice to hear.
You may not directly hear about it because we're fairly quiet as a board, but what you will see is action. You will see it actioned out. Last year, for example, we responded to requests from the student community for a livelier, brighter school environment. So what did we do? We designed new parking outside for parents, making it smoother and easier for them to park very close to the school and then come in, pick up their child and leave. Number one. Number two, we redecorated the reception area in the front because we realized that to make it more appealing and welcoming, we've got to do something different. And so I think we've gotten a lot of traffic of parents coming in and out of the school that are quite happy with the new school environment and the space that the students are in.
It really creates a more light-hearted environment, right?
It does, and I think students spend so much time at school, equal time at school as they may at home, and more likely at home they're sleeping, and they spend the rest of the day at school. So why not the school be an extension of your home, where you want to go, where you find comfort in seeing your friends, attending classes, listening to insightful opinions from your teachers, taking part in events, taking part in sports. It should be an environment that you as students want to come to. It's always been our vision to have students tell us that, and for us to make that happen for you.
Right. Even as a student myself, I do actually look forward to coming to school to see my friends who
Amazing.
I might have not seen them after a long time, for example, after a holiday,
Yes.
and to participate in them in events like sports or such events, you know.
Exactly, and because you come to school every day, you have a chance to see them,
Right.
versus having to make plans outside of school to see them. You have to coordinate that, you have to decide a venue, you have to decide what you're going to do, but as parents, your parents have made the choice to send you to Canadian bilingual school, and then have a chance for you to make good friends here, and it's a safe environment, and you get to see them every single day and participate in things that you all like to do. So I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. So, about education,
Mhm.
you have a master's degree in international management.
Yes.
So you're experienced. What lesson or principle do you believe is the most important for our student leaders to understand about leading in a diverse community?
Leading in a diverse community. Well, I can speak to you from an ownership perspective, which is we have 6 schools under the umbrella of stellar education, and each school has a different community with which we target for admissions. And as you said, they are diverse communities. We've got Arabs of different backgrounds, we've got Indians, we've got Pakistanis, we've got Kuwaiti, so we have multiple communities that we target. Each of them have different needs. Each of them come from different backgrounds where they have different expectations. And as a school group, we have to cater to that so that they're happy to be and remain in our school. If I had a blanket rule or painted with a broad brush and I said, what we do in one school, we're going to do it in another school, we're going to do it in the third school, it may not work. So I have to really hear what it is that the community wants, and then only will I respond or react to that. And to do that, as you said, should it be important for leaders on the board to attend events? Similarly, we do independent surveys where we understand what parents directly have to say. So we don't do that internally, we engage a third-party research group to do that, so that parents have a chance to give their honest, most raw feedback on what they think about us. And we do that once every 3 or 4 years, I'd say, and we do that initiative for parents to have like a safe space to just tell us what it is that they think. And we do it through a neutral party where we are not asking the questions directly, and they are able to just give as much detail as they'd like. So if we didn't do that, we would not know that we have to have different ways of approaching community, giving students what they want. For example, I know that at our school here, we like to play a lot of football.
Right.
A lot of football.
Football.
We have got to give students the opportunity in their PE classes to have football or after school activities where they can get access to playing the sport. But it's not the same for the Indian school. it's not the same for our other schools. They prefer, a lot of them like swimming a lot more. And so we have a swimming pool, and we allow students to have access to, during the week, classes in the swimming pool or after school as well. So the point is that you have to offer a variety of things to a diverse community.
So there's not really just one size that fits them all.
No, absolutely. No one-size solution that fits the entire group.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Especially in a diverse community. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Right, that makes sense.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You answered it greatly.
Okay, good. Great.
And last but not least,
Sure.
given your career path, what is your personal definition of a successful leader?
Well,
It's a strong question, right?
it's a strong question, and I'd say, if I'm being honest, I am constantly evolving as a leader. I've been formally in this business for 6 years, but as a student like yourself, I was taking internships every summer. I had the chance to work in our schools. Back then, we only had 2 schools, and I would say that every experience that I had, whether it started from, in those days you had to take documents that were created by our assistants or secretaries, and you had to file them. It sounds like a very simple, almost mundane task. Now we don't have to think about them anymore because everything's digital.
Oh, you used to file them physically?
I used to file them physically, and it started like that. That's how my career started, with filing. And why I bring that example is it helps you to compartmentalize and think. Why that's a huge skill now is I constantly tell people around me so that they can grow, and what's worked for me, that organization is crucial. I keep everything that I have for the week scheduled on my phone in my calendar. But if I had not learned how to file and how to think about where this sheet of paper should go, whether it's an accounts sheet or whether it's something for human resources or if it's something for IT, I wouldn't know how to organize myself. I wouldn't know how important it is for me to see everything listed in my calendar under so because we have 6 schools, I now color code my events. So CBS is under like a blue color, whereas the other schools are under a green color. And why that color coding is important is when I instantly look at it, I know, okay, I know where I have to be. Today I'm at CBS. Tomorrow I'm back at other schools and I have another event to attend. And again, I'm organizing my day for the whole week. Organization is a skill that you need whether you're a student, whether you are a teacher, whether you are in leadership. You need to be somewhere at the right time, you need to produce an outcome, and you need to help others along in your journey so that they grow as well. There's this saying that leadership is lonely at the top. And when it comes to decision making, sometimes it is. But I find that when you build other people, when you choose to build others, you carry them up with you. And when I am in a position to help somebody grow, they will see that growth because they've helped me a lot in my journey to get me where I am. So why not I help somebody else climb up the ladder with me? That's how I see it.
That's nice. So, if I understand correctly, one of the most important keys to being a successful leader is organization.
Absolutely, you've got it spot on. That's exactly right. Sounds like a simple skill, but you've got to constantly hone in on that. And you can do it non-professionally as well. You could try to hone that skill in a personal activity as well. Let's say you like to play football 3 times a week. Rather than your mommy or daddy scheduling that activity for you, you should tell them, okay, I'm gonna contact my driver, make sure that I get there in time. I've got my PE kit, I've got my shoes, I didn't forget my socks, because they're the tiny little thing that you can forget. I play tennis, so I faced that issue where I packed everything, but I forgot my socks. And then I'm always thankful I've got like a second and third backup pair in my kit, so that I absolutely have no excuse that I cannot play. It's important to stay organized at whatever level. And I've found that I've got to be organized in my professional life, and equally so in my personal life. There is no exception to the rule.
Mm. And is there any last message you would like to share before we end?
Not particularly. I mean, I really enjoyed our conversation today. I appreciate the insight that you've given me, especially about the anecdote about programming and how you've got, to communicate what you do. And I think as long as you are constantly working on yourself as a student, chipping away what's irrelevant, what's not helping you grow, I think you are one step closer to becoming a leader. And you as a leader, you constantly have to read, you constantly have to tap into the world around you, understand what's happening, be abreast of information, of news, and then you'll slowly be able to develop the skill of responding to that news, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it needs your action, toward that particular event. So that would be my message for leaders.
I think we've had an enlightening conversation.
Good.
So thank you so much for being with us today.
You're most welcome, Omar.
It was a pleasure.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure, Miss.
Take care.